In the last video, I told you something that breaks most people's model of medicine. That disease is failed physics. That every chronic illness eating modern populations alive shares one thing underneath the molecular noise: a failure of energy production at the cellular level. Here's the question I left you with. Why? Why is the entire human body, every cell in it, organized around the same physics? Why can't your kidney cell run on a different system than your brain cell? Why can't biology in 4 billion years have come up with a backup plan? The answer is in this book, The Deep Origin. It is the answer no medical school will give you, and once you have it, you cannot unsee it. Let me take you back 4 billion years. The Earth is young, the atmosphere has no oxygen, the oceans are acidic, there is no life, anywhere, just chemistry. Hot, mineral-rich chemistry percolating through the dark rock at the bottom of the sea. In specific places on the ocean floor, alkaline water seeps up from below. It meets the acidic ocean above. Where they touch, a chemical gradient forms. A proton gradient, hydrogen ions concentrated on one side, the other side depleted, a voltage. A natural battery made by geology, sitting at the bottom of a dark ocean for hundreds of millions of years. This is where life began. Not in a warm pond, not from a lightning strike. In a deep-sea vent, exploiting a proton gradient that geology had already built. The first protocells were not free-floating chemistry. They were chemistry trapped inside porous rock, using the geological gradient as their power source. Hydrogen on one side, carbon dioxide on the other. Hydrogen on one side, carbon dioxide on the other. Electrons flowing between them, down the gradient, the same way water flows downhill. Then something extraordinary happened. Some of these protocells learned to generate the proton gradient themselves. That is the moment chemistry became biology. That is the moment life crossed the threshold. Not when something replicated, not when something coded, when something captured energy from its environment and built its own gradient, when it stopped depending on the rock and started running its own engine. Every living thing on Earth, descended from that moment, has kept the same engine. Every bacterium, every plant, every animal, every human, every cell in your body right now is running on a proton gradient. Inherited, unbroken, from those first cells in those vents 4 billion years ago. The membrane that holds the gradient changed. The minerals became lipids. The pumps became proteins. The packaging got better. The physics never changed. 2 billion years later, something even more extraordinary happened. One of these single-celled organisms swallowed another, and instead of digesting it, it kept it. The swallowed cell was a bacterium, a specialist in oxygen metabolism. The host cell was an archaeon. The bacterium kept living inside the archaeon, generating energy. The archaeon kept it alive in return. That bacterium, that ancient prisoner, is your mitochondrion. Every mitochondrion in every cell of your body is the direct descendant of a free-living bacterium that struck a deal 2 billion years ago and never left. You are, in the most literal sense, a walking symbiosis. Roughly 18% of your genome is alpha-proteobacterial, bacterial DNA, inside the nucleus of every one of your cells. The legacy of a merger so old, it predates the existence of plants, animals, fungi, anything multicellular. Without that merger, none of it exists. No animals, no plants, no nervous systems, no you. The mitochondrion is not a part of your cell. It is the cell that made your cell possible. Now here is why this matters for your health, today, in this exact moment. Your mitochondria are still running the same physics that geology started 4 billion years ago. The same proton gradient, the same electron flow, the same chemistry, just refined through billions of years of evolution. When that physics fails, you fail. There is no alternative pathway. There is no backup system. There is one engine, one inherited 4 billion-year-old engine in every cell of your body. This is why every chronic disease eventually looks the same underneath. Not because medicine has been lazy in its categories, because biology has only one way of being alive. The cardiologist treating heart failure, the neurologist treating Alzheimer's, the endocrinologist treating diabetes, the psychiatrist treating depression. All four are treating different organs. All four are treating, ultimately, the same broken engine. If you understand that, Your relationship to your own body changes. You stop looking for a magic molecule. You start looking at the physics. This is what the deep origin tells you, the story of where you came from, told at the level of energy, not as ancient history, as the foundation under your medical chart right now. The Deep Origin, Volume 2 of the Living Energy series, by Catherine Hornbeak. Read the book.